Hey, Frontline fans, welcome back to Comic Frontline. And fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, talking about it, the year is 2015, October 21st. That's right, guys. It's Back to the Future Day. And not only do we remember this awesome movie and how this movie said what the future was going to be like, we also today get a comic book, Back to the Future issue #1 by IDW. Now, we heard about this book being released a while back, and we were pretty excited for it because it's going to be like different adventures, alternate timelines, things like that that surrounds like the movie and whatnot. And you're going to have, Marty McFly, and you're going to have Dr. Brown in there and everybody else. And so it's exciting. And then when you see this actual cover and you get to see the whole cast, the cover was really well done. It really looks like kind of like their movie counterparts here. And so when I got this book in my hands, I was really excited to sit there and read this and going, all right, let's relive some Back to the Future. Let's see what story they're going to throw at us. And so, yeah, very excited. This book is actually written by Bob Gale and John Barber. And there's two different artists on here. One is Dan Schoening, and the other one is done by Brent Scover. So there's actually two artists because there's two separate stories in this book. When you get to open up the first page here, you wind up seeing Marty really looks like the way he should look in the actual comic. When you go through this first story, when it's called When Marty Met Emmett, which is Emmett Brown, the origin story of how these first two met, I thought it was a cool concept. We do get this this art in here that for me didn't quite work because I didn't think Marty really looked like Marty in here. However, when you hear the dialogue in this book, you actually do hear Marty's voice, and when you actually see Doc Brown, you actually hear his voice. So even though Marty doesn't really look like the part, you still hear his voice, their voices in your head when you actually read this particular issue. You actually get to see the dog in here, which is Einstein, which is really cool. And then in the second book, you get to see how, the second story, you actually get to see how the art is a little bit different in here that has to deal with Doc Brown about getting into an institute or whatnot. So what did I think about this overall story? The main story in here I thought was pretty good because we're all a sucker for origin stories, and it was really interesting to see really how Marty actually meets with Doc Brown for the first time. And really you get to see him hanging out in his guitar. He's playing his guitar, and he hangs out, or he's actually, Needles comes up to him, and he asks for this tube for his electric guitar. And it gets broken, and so to avoid to get his ass beat, he has to get another tube. And you wind up seeing that all the tubes in the guitar store were sold, and so he winds up finding out that Doc Brown was the one that bought them all. So he wants to go to Doc Brown's house. And you wind up going to his house, and you wind up seeing all these different types of inventions that he has. And we get to see the personalities there between both characters that really worked well. I thought their interactions worked well. And you get to see this nice origin story between the characters. Now, in this next story, this was the part of the story that really didn't interest me all that much. I guess this was Doc Brown trying to get into the actual Manhattan Project, which was okay. But I found myself a little bit bored with this story. And this one took place in 1943, whereas the other story took place in 1982. So that's basically what happened in the story. What did I think about this overall book for a first issue? I think what this book did lack, I thought was a lack of I thought it was a little bit lackluster. It didn't have that wow factor that I was looking for. You know, after seeing these Back to Future movies and seeing that you're getting this #1 book, you kind of want to maybe see a story that takes place more like in Back to the Future 2, since this was the day it was released. I'm okay with doing alternate stories and different timelines and doing stories around the trilogy. But I would have loved to see more of the original cast, really pay tribute to that instead of Marty and just the professor. Maybe I would have loved to see uh, Elaine in here, you know, his girlfriend, and his and again the whole other cast of characters. Would have loved to see the DeLorean in here, but you don't get to see any of that. And I felt like, you know, real hardcore Back to the Future fans would want to see all those things. Instead, you get origin story, which was fine. I like that, but then the backup story just felt lackluster to me. So this was a little bit disappointing for me. I wanted something more out of a #1 issue here. What I read in the back of this, right now they only have a 4-issue commitment with this series. So I'm not sure if the series is going to even continue going forward with this. So hopefully issue #2 is a little bit more promising, because based off of what we see on the cover here, it looks like it might be. But however, when I saw this cover here, I thought we were going to see more of this, and we really didn't get to see all that. So again, guys, I thought this one was a little bit lacklustrous. It was good, but it wasn't great. It didn't meet my expectations. So I got to give this one really a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So guys, in the comments below, tell me if you're going to get this. Did I deter you from getting it, or did you really enjoy this? So guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Frontline, and until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you real soon, guys. Take care. Bye.